Nothing can separate me. Nothing shall separate me. No. Nothing. No. That's right. Nothing shall separate me. The song's called Nothing. And it tell you there's not a thing that can separate me from the love of Jesus. We thank God for you all tuning into the broadcast. You are tuned into Guts, Gospel United Safe, a variety talk show with a Christian point of view, hoping that you will have the guts to tell somebody about Jesus. I'm your host, Nikki V, and we thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast. By the way, happy President's Day for those of you who celebrate that kind of thing. And we thank God for being able to be with you all on this great, after this great Valentine's Day weekend. We are excited about what God is doing right here and right now. The number to call to join in the conversation, to listen up, to add your points, comments, ask for prayer, whatever it is that you'd like to do, is toll free in the continental United States, and it is 866-217-5375. Option number 2 will get you to the broadcast. That's 877-217. 877-217-5375. 877-217-5375. Option number 2 gets to broadcast. It's starting out a little slow this morning, but we thank God for you all who are tuned into the broadcast and who are listening up. The topic for today, for our devotion, is a question with no answer. And we're dealing, of course, in our devotion time with both the Judeo-Christian, or in the Judeo-Christian aspect, starting with the Jewish aspect of the Old Testament, and then reflecting on how this also was reflected in the New Testament. You asked, who is this that questions my wisdom with such ignorance? It is I, and I was talking about things I knew nothing about, things far too wonderful for me. Job 42:3. When tragedy struck, Job, like everyone else, tried to understand God's ways. Why do bad things happen to good people? Why do the wicked experience so much prosperity and comfort? Most of the book of Job is dedicated to Job and his friends trying to answer these questions for which no answer has been found. Finally, God himself answers Job's question with another question. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me, if you know so much. Translation, why in the world would you expect to understand my ways? I am the creator, you are the creation. Confronted with the majesty of the Almighty, Job concedes his limited knowledge. Surely I spoke of things I did not understand, things too wonderful for me to know. And with these words, Job found comfort. It is natural and human to try to understand the world around us, but there are many times when we just can't make sense of it. In our generation, one of the hardest things to come to terms with is the Holocaust. Rabbi Israel Meir Lau, the former chief rabbi of Israel, is a survivor of the Holocaust. In his recently published memoirs, he writes, I am a believer, and I will remain so until my dying day. The question for which I have not found an answer remains the question of why. Why did it have to happen? I will never know, but this will not diminish my faith. Sometimes we can't understand, but that's okay. Just because we don't understand doesn't mean that God doesn't mean that we can't have faith in him. We must trust that the Creator knows what he's doing. Comfort is not found in knowing all the answers. It's found in knowing that we don't have to. And a Christian reflection on mystery, or the question with no answer. knowing and trusting God even when things seem hopeless, or at least without clarity. When we suffer, we want to know why. It's just human nature. The book of Job informs us that we can't always know the reason why we suffer. It remains a mystery to us. Now, the New Testament affirms the message of Job. Suffering is not always the result of sin, and often we can't see a reason for it. We want to justify it. We want to know why bad things happen to good people. What happened? I mean, if you're good, aren't you supposed to be without issue? But yet, sometimes people who are walking right still have a struggle to face. Jesus made that point to his disciples when he asked them, what about the 18 people who died when the Tower of Siloam fell on them? Were they the worst sinners in Jerusalem? No. The Gospels do not give us answers to why we suffer, but they describe how God enters into our sufferings and comforts us in the person of Jesus. If you want comfort, take hope. God has not forgotten you. He has not forgotten about who you are, or what you're up to, or even what you will do. We thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast. You are tuned in to Guts, Gospel Not Saved, a variety talk show with a Christian point of view, hoping that you will have the guts to tell somebody about Jesus. I'm your host, Nikki B, and we thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast and being part of what God is doing right here and right now. And we do want to remind you and let you know that on this Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m., that's February the 20th, at the Fort Lauderdale Multicultural Church of God in Christ, we'll be having a pre-convention, a pre-conference service celebration. And in that pre-conference celebration, we will have an examination of the power of faith and what that all entails and what that all means. So we do thank God for those of you who will be a part of that great event and who will come out and support us on the 20th of February, where we will be out. Also on the 21st of February, we will be honoring District Missionary Tina Hall of the Solid Rock District. This is all happening at the Fort Lauderdale Multicultural Church of God in Christ, 744 Northwest 12th Avenue in the city of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. There will also be at 10 a.m. on February 22nd a tremendous outreach. We're expressing our love to our community, and we're asking all those of you who have an evangelistic bone to come join us as we embrace our community with love. And for those of you who are in need, come on out and join us. We'll be meeting your need. We'll be having food and just having a great time interacting with people within our community. And we do thank God for that. And we are excited about what God is doing. And the Red Door Cafe will also take place on the 22nd at 8 p.m. So we've got a lot coming up, lots going on. Fort Lauderdale Multicultural Church of God in Christ. You can go to Fort Lauderdale Kojic, Fort Lauderdale COGIC.org for more information about what's happening in the ministry. We thank you for tuning in. I'm Nikki B. We'll be right back after this. Not true. That spotlight's ass, special guest. Oh. Ooh. Oh, wanna be. So bad. But I just need to get the star, so. Shall I meet you? Way down over on the other shore. Way. Won't it be wonderful? Over there, yes. We thank God for Won't It Be Wonderful, James Hall, and the voices of Citadel, right here on Guts, Gospel United States, a variety talk show with a Christian point of view, hoping that you will have the guts to tell somebody about Jesus. I'm your host, Nikki B, and our subject this week is control your speech. Yes, watch what you say, baby. And we're in the book of James, chapter 3, verses 1 through 12. It is important to study the impact of words on others. Now, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I don't know. Some people do get really kind of injured when you say certain things to them. Words do have power. They are spirit and they are life. The Bible tells us that. So we really should be careful. A memory verse, or our key verse, is James chapter 3, verse 10. Out of the same mouth proceeded blessings and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not so to be. It really shouldn't be that you are dual-tongued, if you will. We want to be a linguist, but not in that way. We should not speak both blessings and cursings and good and evil. It ought to be one thing that you hear coming out of a person. When you have two things, it's kind of confusing as to which one is real and which one is false. Now, as we go through this series, what we would like to do is we would like to review James' teachings concerning how we speak to others, express how it feels to be criticized and praised, and find ways to express praise and criticism in love despite the circumstances. We need to get from this lesson that we will be sure that our words will benefit others who hear them. We ought to learn from James as he teaches the readers of his letter the importance of self-discipline in their speech. You ought to be disciplined in the words that come out of your mouth. You just ought not have diarrhea of the mouth, if you will. We ought to apply this lesson by finding out that it is not easy to control the tongue, but we can ask God for help, and He will help us to bridle our tongue. And we should respond by being sure our walk and our talk mirror those of Christ, that we do not have some abstract-looking thing so that people will not stumble at our lifestyle. So let's look at James chapter 3, verses 1 through 12. And it begins at verse 1, and it says, My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation. For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man, and able also to bridle the whole body. Behold, we put bits in horses' mouths, that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. Behold also the ships, which, though they be so great, are driven of fierce winds, yet they are turned about with a very small helm, whithersoever the governor listeth. Even so the tongue is a little member, and boasts of great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and is set on fire of hell. For every kind of beasts, and of birds, and of serpents, and of all things in the sea is tamed, and hath been tamed of mankind. But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. Therewith bless we God, even the Father, and therewith curse we men, which are made after the similitude of God. Out of the same mouth proceeded blessings and cursings. My brethren, these things ought not so to be. Doth a fountain send forth at the same place sweet water and bitter? Can a fig tree, my brethren, bear olive berries, either a vine figs? So can no fountain both yield salt water and fresh. If we want to do this right, we've got to get it right. And we've got to understand what it means to get it right. When we fail to understand, we will inevitably do the wrong thing, make the wrong choices, and go down the wrong avenues. Now, although there are 4 men named James mentioned in the New Testament, many scholars agree that the writer of the New Testament book is most probably the half-brother of Jesus, also referred to as James the Just. Interestingly, James did not initially believe his brother's messianic claims, but it appears his conversion occurred following Jesus' resurrection appearances. Once convinced, James fully embraced Christianity and became one of the leaders of the early church in Jerusalem. Written in about AD 45, the book of James is probably the oldest book in the New Testament, according to the historian Josephus. James was martyred in approximately AD 62. Again, we're hoping that we will deal with our life need and that we will make sure that our words will benefit others who hear them, that we will say things that will cause people to really kind of grow by our comments and not be diminished by them. We thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast. You are tuned in to Guts, Gospel Not to Save, a variety talk show with a Christian point of view, hoping that you will have the guts to tell somebody about Jesus. I'm your host, Nikki B, and we thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast. We hope you will continue to tune in and be a part of what God is doing right here and right now. Friendly reminder, on February 20th at 7:30 p.m., we will have our free conference, free women's conference celebration, and we will be dealing with the subject of the power of faith. That's happening at the Fort Lauderdale Multicultural Church of God in Christ, 744 Northwest 12th Avenue in the city of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where the senior pastor is none other than Superintendent Roger Grimes. And we do thank God for all of you who help us out and who support us in our endeavors. We are part of the Guts Network, and we thank God for having an opportunity to minister to you and to meet you. We also have RNG as part of our Guts Network, and even DJ Livefire. We'll be letting you know some more about him and his ministry as the days come. Thank you again for tuning into the broadcast and being a part of what God is doing right here and right now. I'm your host, Nikki V, and we thank you for taking the time to share with us and be with us and listen in. Those of you who'd like to, we'd love for you to call in 877-217-5375 or text us 877-217-5375. We'll be right back after this.